Chapter 71 The One Who Reverses Time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. While explaining the various realms and the difficulties of martial arts to them, Chen Luo found that his understanding of various martial arts had become more profound. Could it be that when I teach them, the effect of their martial arts improvement can also be returned to me tenfold? Chen Luo guessed in his heart, so, can I be considered to have found a system bug, and I am returning my own understanding of martial arts? However, soon, Chen Luo discovered that this practice was not so simple. Although he explained many things very clearly, however, they had to understand them thoroughly before they could return them to themselves. It was just that when I first started to explain, they just solved some doubts and suddenly became clear. It seems that we still have to take it slowly. It is useless to stuff a bunch of understandings into them all at once. As Chen Luo's explanation deepened, everyone felt intoxicated, and their admiration for Chen Luo was even more difficult to express in words. All kinds of martial arts were explained very deeply, which made people think. Such understanding of martial arts is simply a person of heaven and earth. Luoli, you have to work harder to practice. Look, if you don't work harder, Wang Xian will catch up with you. Chen Luo then looked at the little Luoli with twin ponytails next to him. At the disciple-taking ceremony, Mu Luoli's realm was the second level of nirvana. Now, a month has passed, and Mu Luoli's realm is only the 8th level of nirvana. Although it is very fast to rise 6 small realms in a month, it is far from enough in Chen Luo's opinion. It is completely unworthy of her divine phoenix body with divine talent. Huayuntian, Yi Chen and Li Yener have all reached the high-level creation realm at this time. As long as they continue to work hard to practice, they can break through the saint realm soon. Master, I have worked very hard. Luoli pouted her little mouth and gently shook Chen Luo's arm beside him. Looking at the little Luoli who was acting coquettishly in front of him, Chen Luo shook his head slightly. This little girl is good in everything: soft body, light voice, easy. She is obedient and diligent, and often serves tea and water to herself. She is just a caring little cotton jacket. She is just a little playful. Then you should practice as soon as possible. When you break through to the realm of creation, I will change a suitable practice for you. Chen Luo pinched Mu Luoli's little face and continued, after Mu Luoli breaks through the realm of creation, the system should also send a big gift package. With the exclusive practice, Mu Luoli's practice speed should be much faster. Thank you, Master, I will work hard. Mu Luoli smiled slightly and continued to enjoy the dragon meat made by Li Yener. Master, don't we ask Sister Shu to eat together? Mu Luoli tilted her head and looked at Chen Luo cutely. No, she is at the critical moment of practice now, we just eat. Chen Luo replied, what a joke. It's not easy to find a Saint King cultivation tool person. This can still let her rest. Mu Luoli nodded obediently. By the way, where is Wang Xian? Why don't I see him? Chen Luo seemed to have thought of something and asked. After all, now that everyone is together, Chen Luo still wants everyone to be together. After all, now that there is Shu Yuewu, the Saint King tool person, there is no need to be so anxious about cultivation. There are so many ordinary Tianzhu Peak disciples below who are working hard to cultivate, so it doesn't matter if they take a short time. Master, junior brother Wang Xian is cultivating in the back mountain. I saw that he was concentrating on cultivation and didn't disturb him. Li Yener slowly opened her eyes and continued. Are you still concentrating on cultivation? It seems that Wang Xian has not yet integrated well into this big family, and I still need to pay more attention to him. Okay, then I'll go see Wang Xian. You continue to eat here. Chen Luo continued. After speaking, Chen Luo picked up a piece of jiaolong meat and walked towards the back mountain where Wang Xian was practicing. On the top of the mountain behind Tianzhu Peak, the cold wind was still raging, and the rich fragrance was floating everywhere. No matter what I say, you don't want to leave Tianzhu Peak, right? The woman in the red skirt bit her red lip slightly. The cold wind blew around, lifting the woman's soft hair. Yes, no matter what the future holds, I will use my life to protect everything I cherish, including Tianzhu Peak and my master. Wang Xian said very seriously. Although Wang Xian didn't know who this Yao Shi was, from her words and actions, Wang Xian knew that this woman had no ill will towards him. The woman in the red skirt sighed, with a little fatigue in her eyes. Since you don't want to, then I can only take you away by force. The woman in the red skirt took a deep breath, and her expression became firm again. Wang Xian's heart sank. What did this Yao Shi want to do? Take me away by force? Then, a gentle breath burst out from the red-dressed woman's body, rushing towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian's body stiffened. Under this gentle force, Wang Xian had no power to resist, he could only watch his body become stiff step by step. Wang Xian, you will understand later. The red-dressed woman murmured in a low voice. You want to kidnap my good disciple, have you asked my opinion? At this moment, a clear voice sounded, the red-dressed woman's face became a little ugly, and someone came over. Master, save me. Wang Xian said hurriedly. The red-dressed woman slowly turned around, and what came into her eyes was a handsome young man with a graceful look. The young man was holding a plate of meat with a strong aroma. Are you the master of Tianzhu Peak? The red-dressed woman opened her cherry lips slightly and looked at Chen Luo in front of her with a serious face. On Chen Luo's body, the red-dressed woman felt waves of terrifying aura. Chen Luo narrowed his eyes and directly launched the detection function of his system. Name, Xiao. Age, 27, Realm, 7th Heaven of the Saint King Realm, Identity, the sister of Emperor Tianwu Wang Xian, a time reverser who came against the long river of time, Constitution, Space-Time Divine Body. Qualification, Divine Grade, Emperor's Qualification, sister of Emperor Tianwu Wang Xian. A time reverser who came against the long river of time, a space-time divine body, an Emperor's Qualification. Looking at this series of information, Chen Luo was a little confused. How did such a person appear? You are Wang Xian's sister? Chen Luo asked. Yes, I am the master of Wang Xian's sister. But before Chen Luo finished speaking, the woman in the red skirt interrupted Chen Luo. Wow! After the woman in the red skirt finished speaking, a more mysterious power appeared on her body, and this power directly knocked Wang Xian unconscious. Master Tianzhu Peak, let's talk. The woman in the red skirt took a deep breath and then said to Chen Luo. Chapter 72. You don't want to eat and drink for free, do you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Give me Wang Xian first. Chen Luo continued. No matter what, Chen Luo still had to ensure Wang Xian's safety first. Although Wang Xian's sister might not necessarily hurt Wang Xian, no one knew what this time reverser who went against the flow of time wanted to do. Xiao looked at the unconscious Wang Xian, then looked at Chen Luo in front of her, and finally nodded. Chen Luo waved his right hand, and suddenly a gentle force surged out, bringing the unconscious Wang Xian to Chen Luo's side. Don't let Wang Xian know about our conversation, and my identity too. The woman in the red skirt continued, with a little realization in her eyes. Although she didn't know how the Tianzhu Peak master knew her identity, Xiao didn't want to reveal her identity in front of Wang Xian. Wang Xian was too important, and Xiao didn't want to make any mistakes. No problem. Chen Luo agreed. It was just a small request, and Chen Luo was still willing to satisfy this guy. Moreover, Chen Luo also wanted to know what this guy wanted to talk to him about. Chen Luo himself also had something to do with Xiao. Then, Chen Luo put Wang Xian in a safe place behind him. Tell me, what do you want to do? On the top of the mountain, Chen Luo asked Xiao while eating the dragon meat in his hand. Actually, I am Wang Xian's sister, and I came from the future. Xiao took a deep breath and then spoke. Well, then. Chen Luo asked. Although what I said is very bizarre and very unbelievable, you may still think I am crazy, but in the future, there will be a shocking change in the ancient continent, and Wang Xian is a very key figure. Xiao continued slowly. Wait, do you believe what I said? Suddenly Xiao seemed to realize something, widened her eyes, and looked at Chen Luo in front of her in disbelief. In order to make Wang Xian believe her words, she almost wore out her lips, and even used a lot of means to barely make Wang Xian believe that she came from the future. But now, as soon as he opened his mouth, the Tianzhu Peak master believed it. Isn't it just time travel? What's the big deal? Why don't you believe it? Here, do you want to have a bite? It's delicious. Chen Luo then handed the dragon meat in his hand to Xiao. Chen Luo had just used the Yen divine art, and could feel that Xiao had no ill intentions. Will there be a big change in the future? It seems to be Wang Xian's main task. After knowing this, Chen Luo was no longer curious. Big changes, it has nothing to do with him. He just needs to lie down and become stronger. It doesn't matter, Wang Xian will take action. Xiao was stunned. Time travel, what a vivid word. I can be considered to have traveled from the future. No wonder brother Wang Xian admires this Tianzhu Peak master so much. He is indeed a wonderful person. Xiao then unconsciously tasted a bite of the dragon meat in Chen Luo's hand, and immediately felt a very charming taste. It has been a long time since I have eaten such delicious food, which made Xiao recall the happy times in the past. This tastes really good. Then, Xiao also disregarded her image and began to eat heartily. In no time, she ate the dragon meat in Chen Luo's hand. Okay, if you eat my food, you are a member of Tianzhu Peak. Join Tianzhu Peak and become a guest elder of Tianzhu Peak. Chen Luo smiled and continued. Xiao was dumbfounded. What? If you eat your food, you are a member of Tianzhu Peak? What kind of bandit logic is this? Wait, let me sort it out. Xiao then rubbed her temples and said. Wait. You don't want to eat and drink for free and not admit it, do you? Chen Luo raised his eyebrows. If such a divine body with the potential of a great emperor is not deceived, no, not brought to Tianzhu Peak as a tool for cultivation, wouldn't it be a huge waste? It must not be let go. I came here for important things to do. Although I can't say many things, my existence is related to the safety of the entire ancient continent and Wang Xian in the future. I can't waste time in Tianzhu Peak. Xiao continued seriously. So, do you really want to eat and drink for free? Chen Luo continued to ask, looking straight at Xiao. I don't want to eat and drink for free, ah. No, did you listen to me? I have an important mission. Xiao continued to speak, her chest trembling violently, and she was so angry at Chen Luo's words that she wanted to break her stomach and return all the food she had just eaten to Chen Luo. How could there be such a rogue? Xiao couldn't understand it at all. I am carrying a major mission, which is related to the lives of the people in the world. Now this guy wants me to be a guest elder in Tianzhu Peak. What a joke. It's okay not to practice in Tianzhu Peak. As long as you become a guest elder of our Tianzhu Peak, you can do whatever you want. Chen Luo continued to speak. As soon as Chen Luo said this, Xiao's emotions began to calm down slowly. As long as she could become a guest elder of Tianzhu Peak, everything else would be fine. This request was not excessive. In this case, it was not impossible. Xiao had already made up her mind. She would only be a figurehead and would not do anything for the master of Tianzhu Peak. You said it. Okay, I promise you that I am willing to be a guest elder of Tianzhu Peak. Xiao continued, agreeing to Chen Luo's request. After Xiao agreed, Chen Luo was delighted. This girl was easy to fool. She was indeed Wang Xian's sister. Then, Chen Luo's heart moved and he transferred a disciple's cultivation bond quota to Xiao. Okay, you can go. After doing everything, Chen Luo continued, now the bond has been bound. As long as Xiao practices, she can provide herself with the same cultivation effect return. Moreover, Xiao came from the future, so she will definitely not lack cultivation resources. Just let her go to the wild to develop. It also saves a lot of cultivation resources for herself. Xiao, after saying that, he took the fainted Wang Xian and left directly, leaving Xiao in the wind. You, why are you like this? Xiao bit her red lip slightly, staring at Chen Luo who was leaving. Xiao originally wanted to rely on her own style and future advantages to convince the Tianzhu Peak master, but she didn't expect that he would ignore her at all. It was really hateful. This guy really just wants to be a guest elder of their Tianzhu Peak. What's the point of this? Xiao couldn't understand it at all. Damn it, if it wasn't for the fallen realm when I was going against the flow of time, I would definitely let you know how powerful I am. Xiao raised her pink fist and muttered. Chapter 73 Record Breaking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The time-space divine bodies crossing is not without cost, and it cannot interfere too much with the current timeline, otherwise, even her time-space divine body will be irreparably damaged. Therefore, Xiao can only make some subtle, very subtle interference at some of the most critical time points. I want to see what kind of guy you are, the master of Tianzhu Peak. Xiao took a deep breath, and then her body turned into a puff of smoke and disappeared at the top of the mountain, Tianzhu Peak. In a room with rich spiritual energy in the back mountain, a young man lay on the jade bed in the room, and the surrounding spiritual energy continued to surge towards the young man. After a while, the young man slowly opened his eyes. Wang Xian, how is your body now? Chen Luo asked Wang Xian, who had woken up next to him. Master, I am fine now. Where is Yaoshi now? Yaoshi is Xiao's master, please spare her life. Wang Xian continued hurriedly, Yaoshi. Chen Luo raised his eyebrows. Was this how Xiao deceived Wang Xian? However, since he promised Xiao not to reveal her identity, Chen Luo was too lazy to explain too much. Don't worry, I didn't hurt her. Now she is a guest elder of our Tianzhu Peak. Chen Luo continued. Thank you, Master. Wang Xian hurriedly thanked, / it's okay, just some small things. / Chen Luo waved his hand and handed Wang Xian a bottle of holy tranquilizer. Although Xiao did not use too much power, Wang Xian's realm was still too low and his spirit still needed to be restored. Tianwu Emperor. Chen Luo looked at the apprentice in front of him. This Wang Xian's title is domineering. From Xiao's identity information, Chen Luo knew that Wang Xian would achieve the realm of the emperor in the future. Chen Luo was not surprised. The physique of the Enlightenment Saint body was indeed amazing, and its comprehension was top-notch. Although it was only a saint body, its strength was not inferior to that of an ordinary divine body. Moreover, Wang Xian was basically a template for the Son of Destiny, and it was not certain that he would have other opportunities to improve his physique in the future. By the way, Master, that Yaoshi told me something about the future. Wang Xian seemed to have thought of something, and then spoke. It's okay, no matter what the future holds, you are my disciple, and those things are not important. Chen Luo smiled. Chen Luo did not care about the future, he only knew that he would become stronger and stronger in the future, strong enough to suppress everything. After hearing what Chen Luo said, Wang Xian's heart also felt a little warm. Master is master, and his realm is not what I can imagine. After Chen Luo confirmed that there was nothing wrong with Wang Xian's body, he asked him to continue practicing. The next time, Chen Luo once again returned to his calm state of lying down to become stronger, signing in, and enjoying the peaceful time of life. With the return of the cultivation effect of Shu Yuewu and Xiao, two top masters, and the hard work of many disciples of Tianzhu Peak, Chen Luo's realm soared, and in just 7 days he reached the 9th level of the saint, and began to move towards the realm of the Saint King. After soaking in the Daoyuan Xingling pool for 7 days, Li Dalong successfully transformed into a golden spirit body and possessed the talent for cultivation of the saint. Chen Luo also gave him the saint cultivation method and more generous resources as promised, so that Li Dalong could practice better. After his body transformed, he did not slack off and continued to work hard to practice. His desperate state did not decrease at all, and he even worked harder. Due to Li Dalong's successful transformation, the other disciples of Tianzhu Peak were completely crazy. The cultivation competition of Tianzhu Peak was also rolled to an outrageous level. Almost most of the disciples had dark circles under their eyes, and their bodies were more or less injured. These disciples basically forgot what it felt like to sleep and rest. As for eating, eating top-grade spiritual energy pills every day and still needing to eat, what a joke. Eating will only waste their time, and when they excrete, it will greatly affect their cultivation. Eating is unnecessary, absolutely unnecessary. Some people practiced so hard that their minds became dazed and almost became mentally ill. Fortunately, Chen Luo discovered it in time and thoughtfully prepared top-grade elixirs to calm the mind, allowing many disciples to practice more at ease. After Li Dalong, the one who won the championship again was Wang Xian's cousin Wang Feng. Wang Feng's talent was originally a top-grade talent, and he had studied Li Dalong's self-mutilation practice method quite thoroughly. Top-grade talent, extreme efforts, and Li Dalong's self-mutilation practice method made Wang Feng deserve the second victory. As he wished, he became Chen Luo's official disciple and began to soak in the Daoyuan Xingling pool to improve his talent. 7 days later, a square on the back mountain of Tianzhu Peak, many disciples of Tianzhu Peak gathered together and waited here. On the top of the square, Li Daolong and Wang Feng were hosting the award ceremony of this training competition. After getting familiar with the process, Chen Luo left all these things to Wang Feng and Li Daolong below. Many disciples with dark circles under their eyes below the square were practicing while watching the two people on the stage enthusiastically. Just now, Wang Feng had already demonstrated that he had successfully transformed into a spiritual body and had the talent of a holy product. Everyone was looking forward to whether they would be the next to transform. Everyone felt that they had a chance. After all, the self-harm cultivation method had been thoroughly popularized and recognized by many disciples. Everyone was fighting hard. Now, the competition was about who fought harder. The first place in this cultivation competition is Mo Zhoutian, who increased his spiritual power by 9,353 strands. Li Daolong on top continued to announce. As soon as Li Daolong's words came out, a disciple with a pale face and bloodstains all over his body was excited and tears filled his eyes. Obviously, that disciple was Mo Zhoutian. What? Impossible, how could it be Mo Zhoutian? Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. His increased spiritual power broke the highest record, and it was almost twice as much as mine. This is impossible. Yes, it is definitely impossible. I saw Mo Zhoutian eating a meal last time. It is impossible for him to be the first. That's right, I also saw him secretly rest for 3 breaths without practicing. It is impossible for him to be the first. I don't accept it. When the disciples around saw that it was Mo Zhoutian, they all exploded and made various discussions. Of course, they still did not stop practicing while discussing. Some disciples stuffed a few top-grade spiritual energy pills in their mouths and cursed. Humph, you idiots, you only know how to hurt yourself. Do you know what the Meridian-breaking practice method is? Mo Zhoutian snorted coldly and slowly walked to the top of the square. Chapter 74, Meridian-breaking cultivation method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Severing Meridian cultivation method. Many disciples were confused. What kind of cultivation method is this? Isn't everyone using the self-mutilation cultivation method? How come a segmented meridian cultivation method suddenly appeared? Not only many disciples, but also Li Daolong and Wang Feng above were stunned. A new school appeared. Please share your experience, junior brother Mo. Li Daolong continued. Although Li Daolong was extremely confident in his self-mutilation cultivation method, Li Daolong was not a stubborn and conservative person. If there was a better cultivation method, he would naturally want to learn it. Other disciples also looked at Mo Zhoutian expectantly. Ahem, since we are from the same sect, I will share it. When I was practicing, I found that many meridians. Mo Zhoutian said slowly and began to share his cultivation experience. It turned out that Mo Zhoutian's family was a medical family and was very familiar with the meridians of the human body. When practicing, Mo Zhoutian found that the meridians were sometimes not smart enough, which would affect the effect of practice. So, Mo Zhoutian began to study the meridians, cut off some of them, and at the same time, in order to speed up the efficiency, he also slightly modified some of the running routes. After many experiments and studies, Mo Zhoutian changed his meridians and skills to a perfect adaptation state, and his cultivation speed suddenly increased, surpassing those self-harming practitioners. Although he was a ground-grade cultivation talent, he successfully won the first place this time with this original meridian-breaking practice method, and refreshed the highest spiritual power increase. Everyone looked at Mo Zhoutian with admiration. When the self-harm practice method dominated Tianzhu Peak, he took a new path of cultivation. This is a new god. Brother Mo, can you teach us? We also want to learn this meridian-breaking practice method. Yes, we also want to learn. Many disciples below spoke up, looking at Mo Zhoutian with extremely fanatical eyes. This is the birth of a new school. As long as you can seize the opportunity, there will be no worries about the chance to win the next practice competition. Li Daolong and Wang Feng had shared a lot of experiences before, so Mo Zhoutian would not keep them to himself. Of course, I have prepared more than 300 cultivation experiences, and everyone can take a look. Zhoutian smiled slightly, then took out more than 300 cultivation experiences and began to distribute them. Many disciples rushed to receive them. This kid is also a talent, that on a fruit tree, Chen Luo sighed while eating a 1,000-year-old spiritual melon. If he could come up with such a heaven-defying cultivation method, he would be awarded the Nobel Prize if he were on Blue Star. Although Chen Luo would occasionally check on the progress of his disciples' cultivation, he would not interfere too much with the temptation of the talent of holy cultivation. They would roll up by themselves without Chen Luo's help. As for the damage to the meridians, it was a small problem. With the healing pills, there was no need to worry at all. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect that although your Tianzhu Peak doesn't have many people, the people inside are very hardworking. They will definitely contribute a lot to the great changes in the future. At this moment, a clear and pleasant voice sounded in Chen Luo's ears. A stunning woman in a red dress sat next to Chen Luo and smiled. The moonlight fell on the delicate cheeks of the woman in the red dress, which looked extremely moving. Chen Luo curled his lips. Work hard. You think too much. We will only practice quietly in Tianzhu Peak. In recent times, Xiao has often come to Chen Luo's side to chat with Chen Luo, trying to brainwash Chen Luo and make Chen Luo fall at her feet. However, who is Chen Luo? He is a former senior planner of Tencent. It's good enough that he didn't fool Xiao. How could he be influenced by her? No matter what Xiao said, Chen Luo was not interested in Xiao's affairs at all. Elder Yaoshi, why don't you practice? You're always by my side, but there's no benefit. Chen Luo asked casually. Since Xiao wanted to hide her identity, Chen Luo called her Yaoshi. I'm a guest elder of Tianzhu Peak. I can go wherever I want. Humph. Xiao snorted softly, snatched Chen Luo's 1,000-year-old spiritual melon, and took a big bite. Chen Luo's mouth twitched slightly, and he was speechless. After taking a few big bites, Xiao directly returned the unfinished fruit to Chen Luo, and then her body disappeared directly on the fruit tree. Chen Luo, hey, you finished it all, it's all your saliva. Over at the square. Zhoutian's cultivation experience was quickly distributed. Li Daolong then distributed the rest of the rewards. Many disciples looked at Zhoutian's cultivation experience seriously. Damn, it's too difficult. You have to precisely cut off the specified meridians. I didn't expect that practicing requires self-mutilation, and you have to study the human meridians. I'm dumbfounded. Let's just use the self-mutilation method. This thing is not suitable for us. That's right, let's not use this foul method. Let's just use the asset method. Many disciples discussed and called on everyone not to use this method. Many people responded and carefully collected this experience, preparing to find a secret place to study it carefully. Soon, in various places in Tianzhu Peak, there were people hiding and practicing while secretly studying this meridian-breaking method. Zhoutian, under the leadership of Li Daolong, went to improve his cultivation talent. A corner of Tianzhu Peak. Xuanhuan, didn't we all agree not to use this meridian-breaking cultivation method? A disciple of Tianzhu Peak asked in a low voice. Xuanhuan, you are good at everything except being too honest and simple. If you don't use such a good cultivation method, you will be punished by heaven. We must practice secretly and surprise everyone at that time. Li Xuanhuan continued in a low voice, his eyes full of light. This cultivation method directly improves the cultivation speed to a higher level again. It must be practiced. In the future, the meridian-breaking cultivation method will definitely dominate. It is obvious that the self-mutilation cultivation method is declining. If you don't seize the opportunity, how can you have a chance to win? Xuanhuan was stunned for a moment, and then whispered, Xuanhuan, I found a new self-mutilation cultivation method, which can improve efficiency a lot. Let's use the self-mutilation cultivation method first, it's safer. Li Xuanhuan's eyes lit up. The self-mutilation cultivation method can still be improved. Then you can try it again. Then, Xuanhuan told Li Xuanhuan the new method. Li Xuanhuan's eyes became brighter and brighter. Xuanhuan was really talented. He could even update the self-mutilation method. He was indeed a member of his training team. Such a good self-mutilation method was passed on to him. Then he could temporarily stop using the new Meridian-breaking method. Xuanhuan, I believe that with the new self-mutilation method, the first place next time will definitely be yours. Come on. Xuanhuan continued. Don't worry, Xuanhuan, I won't forget you when I become a formal disciple. Xuanhuan continued seriously, he was the second place this time. If he used the updated self-mutilation method, and there was no Zhoutian, and other people's meridian-breaking method did not succeed, Xuanhuan would have a 99% chance of getting the first place next time. Xuanhuan nodded and returned to his place of training, // Xuanhuan, I'm sorry, the first place next time will be mine. / On a spiritual land on Tianzhu Peak, Xuanhuan smiled evilly and took out the experience of practicing the meridian-breaking method. P.S. If there are any better methods of cultivation, please suggest one or two. If they are suitable, I will arrange them later. QAQ. Chapter 75, The Great Zhoutian Star Array. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xuanhuan is the third this time, and his cultivation speed is very close to that of Xuanhuan. Moreover, Xuanhuan is also from a medical family, and his research on the human body is quite in-depth. Zhoutian's cultivation experience is extremely detailed, and Xuanhuan is confident that he can learn this meridian-breaking cultivation method in a short time. However, the only threat is Xuanhuan, whose comprehension is amazing, and his talent is even better than his own. Xuanhuan is not completely sure, so he can only give Xuanhuan a newer self-mutilation cultivation method to divert his attention. Next, it should be a sure thing. Xuanhuan took a deep breath, and then began to study this meridian-breaking cultivation method with all his strength. Tianzhu Peak, an area in the back mountain with extremely rich spiritual power. Sign in. Chen Luo stretched his waist, slowly got up from the 10,000-year black ice bed, and started a wonderful day. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, and rewarded with the Emperor-level formation, the Zhoutian Star Formation. Emperor-level formation. Chen Luo's eyes lit up. He signed in something of the imperial grade again, and it was an imperial-level formation. Chen Luo hurriedly began to check the formation in his mind. Zhoutian Xingchen formation, a top-level imperial-level formation that can gather the power of the Zhoutian stars. It is a top-level formation that combines attack and defense, and has the power to destroy the world. Feeling the information in his mind, Chen Luo was ecstatic. It turned out to be an imperial-level formation that combines attack and defense. Awesome, with this formation, his Tianzhu Peak is really impregnable, and there is no need to worry about foreign invasion. Although Chen Luo has arranged more than a dozen holy-level formations around him, Chen Luo still does not feel too safe. Although the holy-level formation is powerful, it is still not enough if he encounters a top boss. Even Yao Shi can easily invade his Tianzhu Peak, although it may be because she has mastered special means, it still makes Chen Luo feel insecure. Yao Shi is still harmless. What if he encounters someone with bad intentions? Now that there is an Emperor-level magic array, it is different. The Zhoutian Star Array is an Emperor-level magic array, and its power and strength far exceed the Saint level. People below the Emperor level basically have no chance of invading Tianzhu Peak. As for the Emperor level strongmen, Chen Luo doesn't know how strong they are, and he doesn't know if he can break through. However, he is so low-key that he can't offend such people. It can be said that with this big array, Chen Luo has a very safe rear. Then, Chen Luo's body flashed and flew above Tianzhu Peak, and began to arrange this Zhoutian Star Array. Chen Luo took out the array plate of the Zhoutian Star Array in his system space and began to arrange the Zhoutian Star Array. As Chen Luo arranged the array, bursts of mysterious aura seemed to appear around Tianzhu Peak. In the daytime, there were dots of starlight, which sprinkled light and distributed around Tianzhu Peak. These dots of starlight surrounded Tianzhu Peak, stopped, and flowed, slowly forming a starlight, hiding around. Who is this Tianzhu Peak master, and how can he have such means? In the dragon vein bamboo forest of Tianzhu Peak, Yao Shi, wearing a red dress, looked at the dots of starlight in the sky. With her eyes, she could naturally see that Chen Luo was now arranging an unparalleled imperial formation. Moreover, the strength of this formation was not low, and it had extremely strong power. However, she was very confused. She knew that many extremely powerful people would appear in the future. With the means of this Tianzhu Peak master, he would not be unknown in the future. Why had she never heard of this person? She had heard of some of Chen Luo's disciples, although they had not entered the top realm. However, they all made a great reputation in the ancient continent. However, these disciples, except Wang Xian, did not seem to have a good future. Could it be that I have traveled to the present and have changed some of the future? She bit her red lips slightly, with deep doubts in her eyes. This was also the first time she used the time travel function of the space-time divine body. She still didn't understand many things very well and didn't dare to interfere too much. Even, there seemed to be laws of heaven and earth in the dark, suppressing Shi faintly, and many things could not be done. Forget it, no matter what, I will definitely change the future. Then, Shi didn't think much about it and continued to practice at the dragon vein to restore her strength. The damage to her realm from the reverse flow of the long river of time was permanent, and she needed to practice back little by little. However, since she had already reached a very top realm before, in addition, the spacetime divine body is a top divine body, therefore, she was also familiar with the practice, and her efficiency was far superior to that of ordinary people. The other disciples of Tianzhu Peak also found that the surroundings seemed to have changed, with strands of mysterious aura flowing around. It seemed that there was a lot of star power dotted around Tianzhu Peak. However, they didn't care. Nothing was more important than winning the training competition. Half an hour later, the Zhoutian star array was successfully arranged. The entire Tianzhu Peak was surrounded by waves of mysterious aura, and the void seemed to hide the power of destroying the world. After the Zhoutian star array was arranged, it would continuously absorb the power of the stars between heaven and earth to maintain its operation. No other power needs to be injected. Chen Luo not only successfully arranged the Zhoutian star array, but also added a lot of holy level arrays. The entire Tianzhu Peak was built by Chen Luo to be as solid as a rock, and it was watertight. It was impossible for Shi to invade casually again. I'm so tired. I've been setting up the formation for so long. My back and waist are sore. Let Luoli rub it for me. Looking at the formation he had set up around him, Chen Luo stretched his waist, his eyes full of joy. Then, Chen Luo returned to his resting place in the back mountain. Where is Luoli? When he came to the back mountain, Chen Luo found that Luoli was not in the back mountain. Usually at this time, she should come to me. Why today? Then, Chen Luo's mental power swept to Luoli's room. Is Luoli practicing? In the room full of endless spiritual light, Luoli, wearing a green dress, is practicing seriously. The surrounding spiritual power is drilling into Luoli's body at a very fast speed. There are still strands of sweat on Luoli's delicate forehead, and her delicate cheeks are a little red. Obviously, the cultivation has reached a critical moment. Since she is working so hard, let's not disturb her and take a nap. Chen Luo shook his head slightly, and then lay on the 10,000-year black ice bed. Xiao Bai also lay lazily on Chen Luo's body. There was a little sunlight in the sky, and Xiao Bai's furry body made Chen Luo feel extremely comfortable. In this soft and comfortable environment, coupled with the powerful emperor-level formation just set up, Chen Luo consumed a lot of mental energy. Chen Luo soon fell asleep. Chapter 76 Excited Luoli. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! Congratulations to the host's disciple Luoli for breaking through to the realm of creation, and reward the disciple with a training gift pack. Half an hour later, the system prompt sound suddenly rang in Chen Luo's mind. Chen Luo slowly got up from the 10,000-year black ice bed and rubbed his eyes. Luoli broke through. This little girl finally broke through the realm of creation. Several major disciples, Li Yener, Hua Yuntian and Yi Chen, had already reached the realm of creation. I don't know what the difference is in the gift pack of divine cultivation qualifications, and whether there will be stronger exercises. Open the gift pack for me, Chen Luo muttered in his heart. Ding, the disciple's gift pack is opening. Please wait. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the emperor-level high-quality exercises, the Divine Phoenix Nirvana Sutra. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the emperor-level middle-grade secret technique, the Phoenix Spirit Heavenly Mysterious Transformation. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Emperor-level middle-grade elixir, the Emperor Spirit Pill * 100 bottles. The gift package was successfully opened, and the system prompt sounded in Chen Luo's mind. They were all Imperial-grade things. As expected, Chen Luo's eyes lit up. The stronger the apprentice's qualifications, the higher the rewards in the gift package. Chen Luo had guessed before that his previous disciples all had the cultivation talent of the holy grade, so the rewards were all the holy grade skills and treasures. Luoli had the talent of the divine grade, and the gift package was full of imperial grade treasures. Shenfeng Nirvana Sutra, the supreme divine scripture of the Phoenix clan, which possesses the magical power of nirvana, Phoenix Spirit Heavenly Mysterious Change, an imperial-grade secret technique that consumes a huge amount of spiritual power and can temporarily improve one's own realm. Emperor Spirit Pill, an imperial-grade spiritual pill that improves spiritual power. Not bad, not bad, these are all good things. Feeling the information in his mind, Chen Luo was delighted. Although he could not use the skills himself, he could learn this. Phoenix Spirit Heavenly Mysterious Change, a secret method to improve his realm. The elder of the Tianzhu Holy Land was only at the 9th level of the Saint Realm, but after using the secret method, he was able to reach the 3rd level of the Saint King Realm, which made Chen Luo very envious. Although signing in also gave a lot of good things, there was indeed no secret method to improve the realm. Chen Luo then carefully checked this secret method and found that this secret method was very powerful. Unlike other secret methods, it had very serious sequelae and even damaged the foundation. This secret method did not have any sequelae, but it consumed a lot of spiritual power. However, if used continuously, the body would be tired and a little sleepy. Sleepiness. There is such a good thing. Don't worry about not being able to sleep in the future, just use this secret method a few more times, and insomnia will never bother me again, Chen Luo thought in his heart. Moreover, the improvement effect of this secret method is also quite powerful. Just getting started can improve 3 small realms, and practicing to the great perfection can actually improve 6 small realms. Yes, it is many times better than the secret method of the elder of the Tianzhu Holy Land. The elder of Tianzhu Holy Land only improved 3 small realms at most, and it was obvious that he had consumed his foundation, and maybe even his lifespan. Master, I broke through the realm of creation. That just as Chen Luo was checking this secret technique, a soft and delicate body embraced Chen Luo's arms. Little Luoli with twin ponytails and a green dress enjoyed Chen Luo's embrace, and her bright big eyes were full of joy. Chen Luo pinched the girl's nose, and the girl's fragrance penetrated Chen Luo's heart, which was quite moving. / It's just a breakthrough in the realm of creation. You still have to work hard. Several of your brothers and sisters are about to break through the realm of saints. / Chen Luo smiled. Chen Luo still valued Luoli very much. After all, she was the only divine talent among his disciples. Master, I have been practicing hard for a day and a night to break through. Luoli pouted and said aggrievedly. 1 day and 1 night is not enough. Look, other disciples haven't closed their eyes for more than a month. Chen Luo continued. Master, I have tried very hard. Look, my stomach is so hungry. If you don't believe me, rub it. Luoli said, and then grabbed Chen Luo's hand and put it on her lower abdomen. Chen Luo lowered his head and looked at the beautiful girl with a red cheek in his arms. Under the guidance of the girl, he unconsciously rubbed the girl's lower abdomen. The touch in his hand seemed to be a little different from when he awakened Luoli's bloodline, but it was just as soft. The touch was also quite good. After more than a month of practice and time at Tianzhu Peak, this little Luoli seemed to have grown a lot, and the original shallow arc seemed to have grown a little. It was no longer the shallowness of the little lotus just showing its tip. Master, can't go any further. At this moment, the shy voice of the girl came to Chen Luo's ears. Luoli was so beautiful that her body trembled slightly, and her face was already red and dripping with water. However, there seemed to be some expectation, desire and fear in those eyes. Chen Luo's mouth twitched slightly. It was you who did it, and I was the passive one. Then, Chen Luo took back his hand with reluctance. Luoli bit her red lip slightly, and came out of Chen Luo's arms with trembling legs. She lowered her head and dared not look at Chen Luo in front of her. This is the technique I prepared for you. Take a look first. Chen Luo then put away his thoughts, pointed hhis finger at Luoli's forehead, and a mysterious aura flowed into Luoli's mind, the exercises prepared by the master. Luoli's eyes lit up. She knew that several of her senior brothers and sisters all had their own exclusive exercises. I wonder how the exercises given to me by the master are. Luoli also recovered from her shyness and began to savor the exercises that Chen Luo passed on to her. This is. Luoli widened her eyes, and the exercises in her mind shocked her extremely. The exercises in her mind seemed to sense Luoli's divine phoenix body, and they started to work spontaneously, and waves of mysterious energy flowed through Luoli's body. Divine Wind Nirvana Sutra, isn't that the lost imperial scripture of our Phoenix clan in ancient times? Luoli felt the information in her mind and the power in her body in disbelief. Hasn't this exercise been lost? Master actually has this lost emperor scripture, and he passed it to me so easily. With this heaven-defying emperor scripture, plus my divine phoenix body, I can definitely change the situation of my lineage in the tribe. Although Mu Dongming did not tell Luoli too much about his lineage in the tribe, however, Luoli still knew something, that his lineage's position in the tribe had reached an unstable point. Otherwise, he would not have sent himself to Tianzhu Peak. Chapter 77, Swallowing the Emperor's Spirit Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Now, she might be able to change some abilities that she couldn't imagine before. How could this not make Luoli excited? Master, woo, why are you so good to Luoli? Luoli cried, crying in Chen Luo's arms. Chen Luo was confused. Isn't it just an emperor-level technique? What's the big deal? Silly girl, because you are a good disciple of the master. Chen Luo then rubbed the girl's hair and said softly. As soon as Chen Luo's words came out, Luoli was even more moved, and her heart was completely occupied by Chen Luo's shadow. // Master, you are so nice. If the master wants it in the future, below, it's also okay. // Luoli then said softly with a blushing cheek. Chen Luo. You little girl, what are you thinking about all day long? Just practice well for me in the future. Chen Luo then scolded. Luoli pursed her lips and began to calm her thoughts. Master, this technique can also help me awaken my bloodline. I will definitely work harder in the future. Luoli wiped her tears and patted her chest. Can it also awaken her divine phoenix body? Chen Luo's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that this technique would have this effect. Then I shouldn't have to help you awaken your bloodline in the future. Chen Luo raised his eyebrows and continued. As soon as Chen Luo's words came out, Luoli was a little dumbfounded. No, how could that kind of thing stop? Although it has no effect, but I, / master, I still want it. After all, with your help, the speed may be faster. / Luoli continued with a blushing face. Although Chen Luo's beating had no effect, Luoli seemed to have liked that kind of thing. Master, you can be stronger next time, a little stronger. Luoli continued biting her red lips. Chen Luo. I'll give you this secret technique as well. You should practice well and don't slack off. Chen Luo then passed on the emperor-level secret technique to Luoli, feeling that Phoenix Spirit Heavenly Mysterious Transformation. In his mind, Luoli's mind was dizzy. Another emperor-level secret technique. Master is really great. Thank you, Master. Luoli was delighted. Mua. Then, Luoli secretly kissed Chen Luo, blushed, and left directly. Chen Luo was stunned. Why do these disciples like to use this trick? Yenner seemed to be the same last time. Under a tree not far away, Li Yenner put her hand on the tree trunk, biting her red lips slightly, looking at the scene not far away, and a delicate palm print appeared on the tree trunk inexplicably. Junior sister Luoli, you really have bad intentions towards Master. I won't let you get ahead. Li Yenner whispered, then turned and left the forest. Her steps became firm. Next, try this Emperor Spirit Pill. Chen Luo then looked at the rewarded Emperor Spirit Pill in his hand. Chen Luo had not tasted the Emperor Spirit Pill yet, so he didn't know how effective it was. There were extremely deep lines on the pill, and a faint spiritual energy and rich fragrance permeated around the pill. Chen Luo took a sip and felt refreshed, // what a nice smell. Chen Luo licked his lips. This taste reminded Chen Luo of the alpine candy and blue star in his previous life, which had a bit of that taste. However, this spiritual power didn't look very strong, so he would eat 7 or 8 pills first. Then, Chen Luo poured out 7 or 8 Emperor Spirit pills from the pill bottle and swallowed them all without hesitation. Boom! The moment he swallowed the Emperor Spirit pill, Chen Luo felt the spiritual power in his body surging constantly. It seemed like the spiritual power was going to overturn the river and the sea, and it was raging wildly. Damn, this spiritual power is too strong. Chen Luo's heart stagnated, and the surging spiritual power in his body kept flowing in his body. The cultivation of the 9th level of the saint is growing rapidly, climbing towards the Saint King realm. No, I have to practice in seclusion to break through. Chen Luo took a deep breath. The spiritual power in his body is too fierce. He must practice in seclusion to refine and break through. This pill is too powerful. If you don't reach the saint realm, I'm afraid it will be directly blown up by the terrifying spiritual power. It can't be used for the disciples for the time being. Then, Chen Luo hurried to the dragon vein of the bamboo forest in the back mountain and entered the state of cultivation. Deep in the dragon vein bamboo forest, Chen Luo sat cross-legged on a treasure land with surging spiritual power. Chaos Emperor Xiangyuan was operated to the extreme by Chen Luo, and the endless spiritual power surged towards Chen Luo like a tide. The spiritual power in the body is also constantly surging. Chen Luo is getting closer and closer to the Saint King realm. Time passed slowly. 2 days later. The back mountain of Tianzhu Peak, in a spiritual land with extremely rich spiritual power. There are a lot of spiritual trees around the spiritual land, emitting rich fragrance and spiritual power. Yuntian, are you interested in saving the future of the ancient continent with me? I think you are extremely talented, and you will definitely be a seedling of the extreme in the future. On one side of the spiritual land, Yao Shi, who was wearing red, smiled and said to a young man in black not far away. The young man in black was surging with black aura, and the black aura formed a magic seal and bombarded the surroundings. The surrounding area was in a mess after being bombarded by the young man's magic seal, and there was surging black aura everywhere. Elder Yao Shi, my master has already said that destiny is irreversible. We just have to do our own things well. If we force changes, we will only lose more. Hua Yuntian continued to practice martial arts and said softly. As Hua Yuntian spoke, his master's words came to mind. Disciples, that Yao Shi is a little liar. She wants to brainwash you, but don't be fooled by her. Just ignore her. Whatever changes the future, we are the future. As long as we are insignificant and mature, when we get up, we will directly kill everyone. Obvious development. Yao Shi was stunned and looked at Hua Yuntian in front of her in disbelief. Is this what I know, the extremely powerful and arrogant descendant of the magic pot in the future? The descendant of the magic jar actually said such words, and looking at his expression, it was obvious that he really thought so. What went wrong? Yuntian, you know your future. Yao Shi said. Boom. Just when Yao Shi wanted to continue speaking, an inexplicable force suddenly came. Yao Shi's face turned pale, and a trace of scarlet blood seeped out of the corner of her mouth, as if she had been hit hard. Elder Yao Shi, are you okay? Hua Yuntian noticed something strange about Yao Shi. It's okay, there's just something wrong with my practice. Yao Shi said with a wry smile, her eyes full of exhaustion. Sure enough, you can't interfere too much. Second senior brother, I have your communication talisman. A cheerful voice came. Wang Feng came from the other side of the forest and gave Hua Yuntian a communication talisman. Thank you, junior brother Wang Feng. Hua Yuntian took the communication talisman with a smile. Immediately afterwards, Hua Yuntian opened the communication talisman. Crack. A piece of information was transmitted into Hua Yuntian's mind. Hua Yuntian's smile suddenly froze, and an extremely cold chill surged into Hua Yuntian's heart. The communication talisman in his hand was also directly crushed by the terrifying power. P.S. A friend responded that his classmates laughed at the fact that the novel he read had a low rating. This, everyone should know what to do. Chapter 78 The Storm is Coming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Second senior brother, what's wrong? What happened? Wang Feng looked at Huayuntian in front of him and felt a little cold, as if there was some terrifying power surging in Huayuntian's body. The second senior brother has always been gentle, but now, he feels a little changed. It's okay, it's just a small problem. Huayuntian showed a stiff smile and his body trembled slightly. I have something to do and I have to go out. After Master comes out of seclusion, please say hello to Master on my behalf. Huayuntian then said to Wang Feng. After saying that, the power in his body continued to surge, his temperament became extremely cold, and he turned around and left Tianzhu Peak quickly. Yao Shi on the side looked at Huayuntian, whose temperament suddenly changed and left, with doubts in her mind. What's wrong with this Huayuntian? Why has he suddenly become a little strange? His temperament is a bit like that of the descendant of the honey jar. After a while, Yao Shi seemed to have thought of something, and a look of shock flashed in her eyes. She remembered that the descendant of the magic jar experienced a particularly cruel thing before his reputation spread across the ancient continent. This incident affected the life of the descendant of the magic jar. Could it be Zhongyu, Xingyuan sect? Xingyuan sect is a top-notch force in the central region, with a foundation spanning tens of thousands of years. It is also a famous and powerful force in the central region. Xingyuan sect, Xingyuan mountain. In the sky, the sun hung high, and bursts of hot air were billowing everywhere in Xingyuan mountain. There is still a strong smell of blood surrounding Xingyuan mountain, and solidified blood can be seen everywhere. I ask you again, where is Huayuntian? A cold and bone-chilling voice sounded in Xingyuan mountain. The biting sound made the surrounding atmosphere suddenly feel much colder. On one side of Xingyuan mountain, a feminine young man wearing a gorgeous brocade robe held a peach blossom fan and stared coldly at the many Xingyuan sect members in front of him. There are a large number of monks around the young man, wearing various costumes. Obviously, they are not from the same force. However, they all crowded around the young man, staring coldly at the many Xingyuan sect members in front of them. Mr. Zhao, even if you ask me 10,000 times, I still don't know the answer. On the other side of Xingyuan mountain, an old man wearing a blue robe said slowly, his tone full of determination. This old man is none other than the current leader of the Xingyuan sect, Fan Hongsheng. Behind Fan Hongsheng, there were many disciples of the Xingyuan sect. These disciples were trembling, and many of them had tragic wounds on their bodies. There were still many corpses of Xingyuan sect disciples lying beside them, and the strong smell of blood continued to permeate the surroundings. I don't know. That devil kid Huayuntian came from your Xingyuan sect. Now he has committed a shocking murder and revealed his whereabouts to us. You still have a way to survive. Otherwise, today will be the end of your Xingyuan sect. The young man then threatened. A hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Huayuntian, the descendant of the magic pot, slaughtered more than a dozen cities in our central region and practiced his magic skills. Do you really want to protect him? Yes, there are more than a dozen cities. This guy simply deserves death. Moreover, this Huayuntian dares to kill even members of the Moyang-Dashing family. He is so ambitious. What nonsense are you talking to these guys? What kind of good thing can a sect that can cultivate a vicious person like Huayuntian be? Kill them all. I don't believe that devil bastard Huayuntian won't come out. The people behind the young man also made various comments, and their eyes were extremely unkind. It turns out that the young man's name is Zhao, and he is a member of the Moyang-Dashing family. Recently, many massacres of cities have been discovered in the central territory, which are suspected to be the methods of the descendants of the magic jar. Moreover, even a city managed by Monkey King Moyang was massacred. Therefore, Zhao gathered a lot of people and prepared to find Huayuntian and make him pay the price and bear the consequences he deserved. Around Xingyuan mountain, there were many melon-eating people watching their confrontation with interest. Mr. Zhao, have you made a mistake? Although Yuntian is the descendant of the magic jar, he has a gentle temperament and is unlikely to do anything that would harm Tianhe. Fan Hongsheng continued. Fan Hongsheng didn't believe what they said. He had watched Huayuntian grow up, and Fan Hongsheng still recognized Huayuntian's character. although Hua Yuntian received the magic jar inheritance, he was definitely not the kind of person they said he was. Impossible? Haha, what a big joke. Those slaughtered cities are full of magic pots of magic. You tell me it's impossible. Who else has a magic pot except Hua Yuntian? Zhao Heyu then said coldly, his eyes full of sarcasm. Mr. Zhao, you have to rely on evidence in everything. You can't pin everything on Yuntian's head with just a little devilish energy, Fan Hongxing said solemnly. Even though they were steadfast in their words, Fan Hongxing still didn't believe it. You don't want evidence, do you? We have witnesses here, and someone saw Hua Yuntian. I was outside at the time. That person was Hua Yuntian. I won't admit my mistake. I saw it too, it's Hua Yuntian. +1. The others continued, their eyes becoming even colder. This is just your one-sided statement, how can it be used as evidence? Fan Hongxing's face turned extremely ugly, and he continued to defend himself. Do you mean that all of us are framing Hua Yuntian? Zhao Heyu put away his fan, and a strong spiritual power appeared on his body, the atmosphere around him suddenly became solemn. Fan Hongxing did not speak anymore. He knew that it was useless for him to say anything. These people just believed that it was Yuntian who did it. I didn't expect Hua Yuntian to be such a person. Master Xiao Fan is right. The heir of the magic pot is a disaster. I thought Hua Yuntian was gentle and elegant before, and I thought he was a gentleman. I didn't expect him to be such a bastard. I was really blind. Not necessarily. There is no substantial evidence. Maybe there is someone else. Hee, you are still too young. So many people saw it. Can it be fake? Can the heir of the magic pot still wrongly accuse him? Fortunately, Master Xiao Fan exposed Hua Yuntian's identity. Otherwise, who knows how long we will be deceived by his appearance. Around Xingyuan Mountain, many people who eat melons whispered, although some people think that things are not that simple, however, such people are only a minority after all, most people stand on the side of Zhao Heyu of the Moyang Great Sage family. Chapter 79, Confrontation with Xingyuan Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even many of the disciples behind Fan Hongxing had a lot of doubts. So, this matter is not negotiable, right? Fan Hongxing took a deep breath and continued, / that's right, tell us the whereabouts of Hua Yuntian, and your Xingyuan sect can still keep the inheritance and leave a way out. / Zhao Heyu continued, the people behind Zhao Heyu are all from many top forces in the central region, moreover, he himself has a trump card, he is not afraid of any threats from these Xingyuan sect people at all. Sect Master, just tell them the whereabouts of Senior Brother Hua. Senior Brother Hua is no longer a member of our sect. Why should we bear all this because of his affairs? Yes, although I also believe in Senior Brother Hua, but now things are already very clear. Yes, we don't need to bury our entire Xingyuan sect for a magic pot heir. Many disciples behind Fan Hongxing spoke up one after another, with an extremely urgent tone. Shut up, Yuntian is your senior brother. He has lived in our sect for so long. Don't you even have this little trust? Fan Hongxing shouted angrily, his eyes full of disappointment. The words of these disciples made him even more disappointed than those of Zhao Heyu and others. As soon as Fan Hongxing said this, many disciples bowed their heads deeply and dared not speak again. It seems that you are really going to be buried with that demon cub. Well, then I will kill you and then go find that demon cub. Zhao Heyu showed a cruel smile. After Zhao Heyu finished speaking, the people behind him were all fierce, and their spiritual power kept surging, and they were about to launch a fierce offensive. Many disciples behind Fan Hongxing showed fear and despair. Zhao Heyu is from the great saint family. He has already broken through the saint realm and is extremely powerful. The people behind him are also from top forces, including some top saints. Their Xingyuan sect is just a first-class force, and it is simply unable to withstand the impact of so many top powerhouses. Fan Hongxing mobilized all the power in his body, and the surging spiritual power was surging everywhere, revealing his cultivation of the second level of the saint realm. at this point, he could only fight to the death. Stop! At this moment, a chilling voice sounded in Xingyuan mountain. Everyone looked towards the source of the sound, and saw a young man in black clothes and with a stern temperament appearing not far away. Yuntian, you shouldn't have come back. Fan Hongxing sighed, looking at the young man with extremely gentle eyes. Unexpectedly, Hua Yuntian still appeared. It turned out that the person who came was Hua Yuntian. After learning that he was framed and that Xingyuan's sect was besieged by many forces, Hua Yuntian immediately rushed over. Everyone was shocked. It turned out that Hua Yuntian appeared. Many people looked at Hua Yuntian with fiery eyes. This is the descendant of the magic pot, who owns the legendary swallowing fairy magic pot. Many people are very interested in this swallowing fairy magic pot. However, after the shocking battle with Xiao Fan, Hua Yuntian disappeared, and no one knew where he was. Master, Xingyuan's sect has raised me, I can't just sit there and watch. Hua Yuntian smiled slightly and walked in front of the Xingyuan sect. Many disciples of Xingyuan sect looked at Hua Yuntian with a little fear. Hua Yuntian noticed the fear in the eyes of many disciples and sighed imperceptibly. However, he didn't care too much. He had expected such a scene before he came. The real master has appeared, and now things are simple. As long as Hua Yuntian commits suicide, this matter will be over, and your Xingyuan sect will not be destroyed. Zhao Heyu showed a bright smile, staring at Hua Yuntian who suddenly appeared. I didn't do those things. I have been practicing in the East region. Why should I commit suicide? Hua Yuntian said calmly without any fear in his eyes. You have been practicing in the East region. The dead souls in those dozen cities don't think so. You said you practiced in the East region. Do you have any evidence? Zhao Heyu sneered. You dare not admit it. What is the descendant of the magic pot? Are you worthy? You said that practicing in the East region means practicing in the East region. Funny. Yes, we have seen you. It was you who massacred the people in those cities. The people behind Zhao Heyu also said one after another, looking at Hua Yuntian with extremely contempt. Someone saw me committing a crime. Hua Yuntian frowned slightly. These people seem to not want to reason. Hua Yuntian has indeed been practicing in the East region. I saw it. At this moment, a crisp and pleasant voice sounded in the ears of everyone. The surrounding space was distorted, and a beautiful woman in a red skirt with fluttering sleeves appeared in front of everyone. Elder Yaoshi. Hua Yuntian was stunned. He didn't expect that Elder Yaoshi would follow him. The moment Yaoshi appeared, everyone present was bright-eyed. What a beautiful woman. When did such a stunning beauty appear in the central region? Zhao Heyu's eyes became solemn. He felt the majestic momentum of Yaoshi, and the cold aura almost overwhelmed everything. This is a top-level Saint Dao King, with extremely strong strength. Hua Yuntian has been practicing in the eastern region. The things you said were not done by Hua Yuntian. Yaoshi took a deep breath and continued. This incident should be what Hua Yuntian experienced. Yaoshi thought in her heart, although Yaoshi didn't know the details, from some of the following words, this incident had a great impact on Hua Yuntian. After all, he was the elder of Tianzhu Peak. How could he watch Hua Yuntian suffer an unjust accusation? You don't count. Many of us here have seen what Hua Yuntian did. Zhao Heyu's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness, and then he said. The people behind him also responded and refuted Yaoshi. Yaoshi frowned. These people seem to want to deal with Hua Yuntian. We have other certifications, and when the time comes, we can confront each other together. Yaoshi continued. The other party, Zhao Heyu, is from the great saint family, and Yaoshi has no means to face such a terrifying behemoth family. Of course your people are on your side to speak for you. Zhao Heyu said disdainfully. Yaoshi's eyes were cold. These people were too much. Aren't they together? Can your words be used as evidence? How come these people are more rogue than Chen Luo? Hua Yuntian's face also became a little ugly. These people came for him. They just believed that he had done those things. Chapter 80 Breakthrough to the Saint King Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course, I am also a reasonable person. There is another way to prove Hua Yintian's innocence. Zhao Heyu said with a warm smile, prove innocence. Hua Yuntian and Yao Shi both looked at Zhao Heyu, Tianzhu Peak, in the bamboo forest of the Dragon Vein. In the deep area of the Dragon Vein, a handsome and unparalleled young man was sitting cross-legged on a spiritual power cushion. The surrounding spiritual power was like a tide, surging towards the young man. There were countless spiritual powers flowing in the young man's body, and it seemed that there was a chaotic force surging around the young man, almost suppressing the whole world. Boom! After a while, a more violent momentum broke out from the young man. A terrifying roar sounded throughout the bamboo forest, the first level of the Holy King realm. Chen Luo slowly opened his eyes full of joy, finally broke through, and spent 2 days to refine all those Emperor Spirit pills. With the hard work of many disciples, Chen Luo successfully broke through from the 9th level of the Saint Realm to the Saint King Realm. A cultivator at the Saint King Realm is considered a top-level powerhouse in the ancient continent, and can become a pillar even in a holy land. After breaking through to the Saint King Realm, Chen Luo's chaos divine body has begun to show its power. With an unparalleled chaotic power, the amount of spiritual power and the strength of the saint's origin have been greatly improved. Moreover, the magical power of mana immunity, which is incomparable to the heavens, can be temporarily activated. Mana immunity, as the name suggests, is immune to the attacks of mana magical powers, and is invulnerable to all methods. After activation, even the Emperor-level mana attack cannot cause harm to Chen Luo. However, now, Chen Luo can only activate it for a few breaths and cannot use this magical power for a long time. As Chen Luo's realm improves, the activation time of this mana immunity will also become longer. Finally, there is some self-protection power. Feeling the power in his body, Chen Luo is delighted. Next, I can have a good rest for a while. Then, Chen Luo stretched and prepared to go outside to have a good rest. Ding, the host's second disciple Hua Yintian is facing a huge crisis, and an urgent task is now issued. Emergency task, someone is trying to frame the host's disciple. As a master, how can you stand idly by? Please solve the crisis of the second disciple Hua Yintian as soon as possible. Reward for completing the task, Imperial level top-grade body refining technique, Divine Elephant Prison Power. At this moment, the system prompt sounded in Chen Luo's mind. Chen Luo's pupils shrank. Someone wants to deal with my disciple. Xingyuan Mountain. At this time, the people around Xingyuan Mountain were all looking at the two parties confronting each other on the mountain. You want my immortal devouring demon pot? Hua Yintian's face became extremely cold, and his eyes were fixed on Zhao Heyu not far away. Yao Shi frowned slightly. These people came for Hua Yintian's immortal devouring demon pot. Fan Hongxing beside him also understood that what they said was just an excuse. They just wanted Hua Yintian's devouring immortal demon jar. That's right. We will take your demon jar back and compare it with the demonic energy of the city massacre. Then we will know whether it was you who did it. Moreover, after you hand over the devouring immortal demon jar, we will not attack Xingyuan sect again. Zhao Heyu smiled and continued. Yes, as long as you hand over your demon jar, our young master Zhao is willing to show mercy and verify your innocence. / you can be happy if I spare your life. If I say, if we kill this demon cub directly, so many of us will see it, it will be fake. / Hand over the demon jar, and your Xingyuan sect will escape this disaster. The people behind Zhao Heyu spoke one after another, looking at Hua Yintian with extremely unkind eyes. Many people had a little greed in their eyes. Impossible, if you want my demon jar, you must die. Hua Yintian said coldly, and the power in his body kept surging. These people want his magic pot, it's just a daydream. Big brother, just hand over the magic pot, Mr. Zhao will definitely clear your name. Yes, hand over the magic pot, you can return to our Xingyuan sect and continue to be our big brother. The magic pot is an ominous thing, because you have lost too much with it. Don't insist, please, we don't want big brother to die. Behind Fan Hongxing, there are still many Xingyuan sect disciples who speak up and persuade Hua Yintian to hand over the immortal devouring magic pot. Hearing the words of these junior brothers and sisters, Hua Yuntian felt like a needle piercing his heart. Obviously, he has decided not to care. Why? Still heartbroken, why? Ha ha ha, your fellow disciples all said so. Are you still determined to resist to the end, or do you want them to die with you? Zhao Heyu laughed wildly, his eyes full of smiles. The others behind Zhao Heyu also looked at Xingyuan's sect and Hua Yuntian and others in the distance as if they were watching a joke. Shut up, if you keep saying that, don't blame me for being rude. Fan Hongxing said angrily, his aura surging out, almost suppressing the entire mountain. Fan Hongxing didn't expect that his disciples of Xingyuan's sect were such spineless people. Because of the pressure from outsiders, he said this to his close senior brother, not far away. She bit her lip slightly, looking at Hua Yuntian, who was already shaking a little, and felt a wave of heartache. No wonder the air of the magic pot would become like that later. It turned out that he had experienced such a thing. Boom boom. At this moment, bursts of black aura appeared on Hua Yuntian's body, and a black shadow appeared on Hua Yuntian's body. The momentum on Hua Yuntian's body became extremely powerful, surpassing the realm of creation and directly reaching the realm of saints. You, all get out of here. A fierce and unparalleled black aura burst out from Hua Yuntian's body, bombarding the many disciples of Xingyuan's sect behind him. With bursts of painful wails, the fierce and unparalleled power directly blasted all the disciples behind him away, and they were directly blasted out of the range of Xingyuan mountain. Although Hua Yuntian's momentum was magnificent, the disciples who were blown away did not suffer any injuries. It seemed that Hua Yuntian did not want to hurt them. Yao Shi looked at Hua Yuntian, who had become cold beside him, with a little heartache in her eyes. With her vision, she naturally saw that Hua Yuntian just wanted to send away the many disciples of Xingyuan's sect and let them escape. Fan Hongxing sighed softly, without saying anything, but stood silently beside Hua Yuntian. Master? Hua Yuntian felt warm in his heart. Unexpectedly, he had already withdrawn from Xingyuan's sect, and at this time, the master was still willing to be by his side. Humph, want to be a hero? I won't let you have your way. Zhao Heyu's eyes were cold. Listen, people of Xingyuan's sect, if you dare to run, I will chase you to the end. If you can help me take down this demon, I will not only let you go, but also reward each of you with a bottle of top-grade spiritual energy pill. Zhao Heyu continued, his eyes full of sarcasm.